Everybody, so on my break today from work, I happened just to put on my phone and listen to Nolan's on the local radio station because there was a debate on between a few Monaghan councillors and a few Cavan councillors based for the general election, and they were talking about Monaghan General Hospital. Now, as you know, and I think the majority of people would know in the country, that Monaghan General Hospital closed a few years ago, and basically there's no accident emergency in Monaghan. So basically, if you hit your head in Monaghan town, you have to be brought to Cavan because Cavan is the accident emergency basically for Monaghan. Which doesn't make any sense. For donkey's years, there was an accident emergency in Monaghan going way back over years. And apparently, in the richest country in the world, we can't afford that. So everybody from Monaghan has to come to Cavan. And as I said, I don't think they talked about in the debate how many people died in Monaghan waiting for an ambulance, or died being transported in an ambulance from Monaghan to Cavan, because it's a good wee journey. It's not that far. It's not as far as you may think. But still, at the same time, if you're in a serious condition, a life-threatening condition, it's a long time. Take, for example, there was somebody waiting 3 hours for an ambulance on a pitch in Monaghan a few months ago, and it took 3 hours for an ambulance to get there, let no one get transported, so it probably was 4 hours by the time he got to the hospital, etc., etc. So, but thankfully, it was a serious enough injury, it was a leg injury, but still, at the same time, you get what I'm saying, there should be one in Monaghan. It makes no sense why, but, But I wanted to share a personal story in a second. But obviously there was a lot of talk, But again, the ball falls on Fine Gael because Heather Humphreys has been there in office in Monaghan for the last, God only knows how, as a minister. So you think they would have done something Fine Gael. So I don't think Fine Gael has a leg to stand on. There's a Monaghan councillor down there, Fine Gael, and he's jumping up and down saying we'll get the hospital in Monaghan back, the NA up and going. Fine Gael hasn't done the last 14, they closed it down. They haven't done the last 14 years, so hardly that they're going to do in the next 5. To be totally honest with you, to Fine Gael, I think you have to get weird with yourself. But, I would love to see it open, of course, I'm sure people agree. It would take a lot of pressure off too, Cavan, because obviously people from Monaghan have to come to Cavan or go to other counties. So it would take a lot of pressure off Cavan, because at the moment Cavan is dealing with a lot, because you wait 4 hours or so to be seen in an accident emergency at any time of the day, so think about that. And then to get a bed then is another thing too. So it's a lot of pressure put onto one, accident emergency compared to if you had two, the pressure would be a bit separated, I suppose you would call it that. But the thing I want to address anyway is the stupidity, I suppose. There is basic functions and stuff, kind of appointments, etc., in Monaghan General, but there's no A&E basically. It's only appointments, seeing a doctor, seeing different things, X-rays, etc., things like that. Nothing like accident emergency critical care, I suppose you would call it too. But take for example people from Cavan. My father has to go up for, speaking of it, my father has to go off next week to Monaghan, because apparently can't do it in Cavan is to get up for a scan. Apparently we have the machine in Cavan, they don't want to do it in Cavan for some unknown reason, because it's literally 10 minutes away from his house, but they want to send him to Monaghan to do it. A man is 71, they want to send him all the way up to Monaghan town to do it. For whatever reason, logic, isn't it? But long story short, it's the same with people in Monaghan. They've been sent down to Cavan. I often came across one or two people at the bus station, looking for the bus to Monaghan, back to Monaghan after coming down to Cavan for scans, etc., when they can do it in Monaghan. But long story short, they would say how ridiculous it is, and they're right. It is ridiculous why they have to travel to another county when the service is already available in their county. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's just to annoy people, to be totally honest, more or less. But it doesn't make any sense. I'm sure you would agree. It doesn't make any sense. Generally doesn't. Especially because he only lives 10 minutes away from the hospital in Cavan General. So literally just out the road. And it's more hassle to get a bus. A man at 71 to get a bus up to Monaghan, etc., and go out to the hospital, etc. It's more hassle for him at a man at 71. But I don't know what to say about that, but it makes no sense. I'm sure we agree. It makes no sense because basically people run on the roads when they could get the thing done in Monaghan. And now obviously if you're in Clonus and stuff like that, it'll be not too much of a big deal because it's not that far away from Cavan. But take for example, if you go inwards to Monaghan, Castleblaney, etc., Cowcan Cross, it's a good wee distance to Cavan General Hospital, etc. So I do think we have to look at that too, because it's stupid. It's the management of the HSE, I think, that's just want to annoy people, to be totally honest, because I don't see the logic in it, because there's never been any logic. I've asked questions about this before and fuck all came out of it. I've asked questions to different people in the HSE and they never care to respond. They never really care to address it either. But it does happen. You ask people in Cavan, it does happen. It's very, very stupid, if you ask me. But anyway, let me know what to take. If you've ever been affected by this, I would love to hear. Because it affects a lot of people in Cavan. As I say, my father went up 3 or 4 times before. It's not just this is the fourth time. You have to go up 3 or 4 times before for other stuff that could have been done in Cavan. It doesn't make any sense, but sure, look at